Okay, everybody. So I'm here. I'm offering my astrology readings at 50% off until Friday. So they are. I'm going to put the link in this live afterwards. Actually, I wonder if I can put it in here now. But I do, like right now, I have my astrology readings up over there, and I have my The Moon Moved Me digital course up. The Moon Moved Me. I love it. I love that product. Okay. It's $1. Go and get it. Go and get it. You will see, like, people who see it immediately get in touch with me and they're like, yo, do you do astrology readings? I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm offering them my astrology readings at 50% off right now. The reason why I'm talking about this stuff is because about 5 years ago, well, a little more than 5 years ago now, um, shoot, it'll be 5.5 years at the end of the year. Yeah, ooh, baby. 5.5 years ago, I chose to leave my job and pivot. And let me tell you why. The main reason I chose to leave my job and pivot is because, first off, I thought there was some type of, I thought they was out to get me. I felt like I was going to be the sacrificial lamb for my office. I worked in higher ed, so I'm going to say about that. But I worked in higher education, and um, there was a small team that I worked on. Small team. They were just, hold on, I'm going to get something. I wonder if I can leave y'all propped on the elephant. I'm going to go get something because I'm going to kind of chill and talk. I want to see if I can go get my, let me see. Will that stay like that? I'm hoping as much that it will. Okay, so I'm going to go get a scan at some point. But my point is, I chose to leave. And when people are passing through, hey, stay if you want. Okay. I felt like I was being this sacrificial lamb for my office. There were only 6 of us working in there, and COVID was moving through the country. If you lived in New York, and I knew a lot of people that did, you were terrified in New York because I don't know if a lot of people knew this. They were using ice cream trucks up there to store the bodies of people dying in the hospitals back then. This is 5 years ago. No, I'll say 6 years ago. That's what was going on. We didn't get hit that bad down here in Philadelphia, but we still did. But they decided at my job, and I was working from home for about a year and a half. It was probably one of the most stressful things I've ever done in my life. They decided I had to go back to the office. When all the students who are all coming from all over the place now, doing some of anything they wanted, and at that time, nobody really knew that COVID was going to turn into what COVID is now, which is pretty commonplace at this point. Okay? And they decided I was going to be the first one to go in the office. I said, to do what? I'm going to go work for these students. Not for the students. Well, for the university that was working for the students, essentially. And they could be coming from anywhere doing some of anything. And I'm going to tell you, because I worked in the Office of Student Conduct, I knew they were doing something of anything. Somewhat that anything they wanted to be doing, they were doing. From place to place all over the city of Philadelphia. and coming from wherever they were coming from into this country to go to the university I was working for at the time. Honey, I said no. I'm this black woman right here. This grandmother may not be important to all of y'all, but I'm important to my grandbabies. I'm important to my baby, my daughter. I'm important to my mother. I'm important to my loved ones, my family. I'm important to people that I take the time and sit down and pour into. I'm important to those people. So since y'all don't really know what's going on with this, and I had my feelings on a lot of things, which are pretty like I'm not doing certain things, I'm leaving. And so I left. And when I left, I didn't have an idea of what I was doing. Had no clue, none. But I knew, and I remember when I made the announcement, because I was in a meeting with both of my managers. When I made the announcement, I was like, I know my life is bigger than this. I know my life is bigger than what I'm doing right now in this office. I know that. I help people all the time. So, and it's not to terrify them so that they can stay right according to what their parents and society is telling them that they should be doing. And it's funny, as a person who's getting older now, who is, I've always been somewhat on the cutting edge of life. And I think that's the high, big Aquarian world in my mind. I have a deep, serious Aquarius. Okay. And with Pluto playing around in there right now, and then the way my Jupiter is set up sitting in there, honey. Okay. I've always been a person that's otherworldly, always wanted to help the world, always wanted to bring some type of system or idea to people so that they could begin to, hello everyone, thank you. Am I allowed to drink alcohol? I don't know what that means. Anyway, my point to you is that I've always wanted to bring systems to people. I mean, since I was a kid, I was building domes over areas in my imagination, brand new houses, fixing stuff. I was gutting things in my mind already. If there was a blueprint and I really knew how to do a blueprint when I was like 6 or 7, I'd have done a blueprint and presented it to the blueprint guides and said, now make houses like this for everybody, right? I would have done that. But when you are approaching what? I'm 53 now, so when I left my job, I was 48. I was 48 years old. Now I'm gonna tell you a couple of things that really happened that was awesome, which was interesting to me. I did get moldavite. I got I got a couple of pieces of moldavite that year, and I started working with moldavite. And when I say working with it, I had a little cute necklace that I would wear on me. I might sit and meditate with it, whatever, stuff like that. I got it in March of that year, and I announced that I was out. I was leaving my job in June of that year. So, because I know it's like the writing was on the wall already, right? I had already been turned off by my managers like 6 months ahead of that, of the date that I finally left. And then I had also decided that I wanted to do something big with my life. I didn't fight as hard as I had fought to get as far as I've gotten in my life. And I won't say in unconventional means, but I'll say nobody would expect the way that I've done things for things to happen. It's all been legal, but it's all been off the mainstream. It's been very Aquarian, okay? And so I've been studying astrology since my daughter was like, I'll give 5, but I think much younger than that. I think more like 2, for real. And she's in her 30s now. Okay. Um, I used to draw my own chart before there were programs that we could quickly go to, like Cafe Astrology or AstroSeek or AstroDance. We couldn't find these free programs. Computers weren't moving like that back at the time, so I just draw my own, right? And was mapping out things and everything. I just really heavily into it. But when I say heavily into it, from a standpoint of I'm coming at this big body of work and I wanted to understand it. And I realize now that with a lot of big, serious craniums, big minds who have lived through their life and lived through their astrology and helped their friends live through their life and live through their astrology and continue to give actual ideas and share their epiphanies and their hypotheses or size on what the different placements mean at different times and how they arrive, and their ideas about that, and them writing entire books about that. They're older. They're writing books on lived experiences. And you can, I think it, quite frankly, you can tell a lot about an author of astrology unless they're really old and they have really met a whole lot of different people. You can tell according to their biases and stuff like that as you are reading the different books. And so, like, take for instance, you'll find that, like, not a lot, at least back when I was reading astrology books and stuff like that, the generational planets, not a lot of people had a lot of information. There's so much collated data on the internet that allows for people to be able to research into the history of what Uranus was doing, what was happening on the planet when Uranus was in da 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 da. Now that the analyzation that can go into a book looks very much like a person may know what they were talking about, but they didn't live at that time. Okay? Now, when it comes to personal planets and their friends and the people that are around them, the people that come and sit at their feet and get their knowledge and share what their struggles are, they come to them and they get their answers from them because these people have been hitting on and they've been analyzing their friend as an astrologer, and the friend's been coming back and forth. Yeah, look at this. I did this. This is what a lot of it is. And so when people are telling you, oh, I'm a professional astrologer, I don't know how professional you could be at astrology. I think that you can offer professional. You can say that what you do to earn money is offer analyzation on people's astrology charts, readings, essentially, right? You can do that. But ultimately, that's going to change because it's like with every reading, you're peeling back a layer of the onion. And I think it takes a particular type of mind to reach fully into that pot or into that trunk of so many different overwhelming layers of astrology and come out with gold for people. Now, having done it numerous times, because I can see things, I'm not just an astrologer, I'm not just an astrologer. As everyone who comes to this channel that follows me knows, I am a spiritualist. So astrology helps to enhance, but also give people a mainstream way of tapping into their spirituality without committing to a church, without committing to an elay, without committing to an egg bay, without committing to a closed practice, without committing to a coven, without committing to associate. And then with also not being so far on the fringe of, say, something like Hinduism. That's a very, I think a lot of people don't realize how close Hinduism is. Like a lot of people, oh no, you can do whatever you want, but you are not walking right up and in and getting initiated or dropped into the secrets of Lakshmi or Vishnu or Ganesha. Like it's not happening. That group of people, that is for them. And if they share that with you, if the deity comes close to you, you have found favor in them and they noticed you, you're doing a good thing. But that don't mean that you are lockstep rank and file with that community. If you're there, you're literally there. You, period. And when you come out of that, the people that come out of that community that are a part of it have been born in it for the most part. I have never really seen any type of guide or guru coming from the Hindu tradition that's not from that part of the world. I've seen a lot of people talk about how they've had amazing experiences with the different gods and goddesses, but So I understand when people lock down and close the traditions, but if you want to be able to find something that takes you into your spiritual self and understanding more and more and more of who and what you are, astrology is your answer. And I know people go, ask quackery. A lot of people don't go, oh, that's quackery. Because as life moves on, and if you look back over time at, say, different dates, and you look at Jupiter's transits, or you do look at Pluto's transits, because at 53, I've got at least 32 years under my belt that I can look and say what Pluto did to me. At least 32 years in there I can look at. Okay? But Uranus, what? It takes it, Uranus no, not Uranus. I'm thinking Neptune. I think it's Neptune that takes like 200 and some years to really hit all of the zodiac signs and then keep pushing. Again, we're looking at collated history and data to apply to our lives and what we suppose could potentially happen. And then again, remember the heavens always look different every single time. That's why it's just like, okay, I appreciate that. So when I left my job, I was just like, life is bigger than what I'm doing at this job. I had no backup plan. I had no idea what I was going to do. I did know it was going to be in the spiritual realm. That I knew. And I knew I was going to offer my wares, what I could do for people. As a priestess of the Orisha, and then also as a general spiritualist, hoodoo person. And I never thought to offer the astrology part. I've studied it for a long time. I love it. I'm a Cancer rising, so I like to go in and nurture, not just people, nurture things. So I nurture my study of astrology in a way that I know. I think a lot of Cancer risings do this. We kind of go find our little lagoon and then come up out of there. I found it, right? So like my recent one is The Moon Moved Me. And The Moon Moved Me, I have it for $1 right now. I'll put the link up. The link is definitely here at this channel, but I'll put it on in the description of this live once it saves. It's up for $1. I put a lot of beauty into that because I wanted to capture that. But the work is in the questions. The work is in the prompts. Because what you're doing with The Moon Moved Me is you're tracking the moon to see where it's at. Like the moon right now today, it's in my moon. It's in the deepness. It's in Scorpio, okay? And so it's so funny. I was not aware that I was going to come to a love of astrology in the way that I have. Like take, for instance, I'm in a relationship. And I've been in it for some years now. And one of the things that helps us, in my opinion, is tracking that moon, knowing when that moon getting ready to go through his signs and when they coming through mine. Okay? Because then I know to kind of chill, like this ain't the time, to have that question. And I do the same thing with my family members, like, Moon is in your sign. I ain't messing around with you today. Like, we are not going to have a cataclysmic conversation. What we're going to do is be respectful of each other and table this to another time when cooler heads can prevail and we can get to the meat of the conversation. That is what the moon moved me is all about. It's about managing yourself. Take, for instance, if you are, I would say, a Libra moon, you want to balance out yourself. You want to balance yourself out. Like, life is all about the balance. Like, you can't just have things one way and always leaning in that direction. You can't, you have to come back to center, recenter, and then reapply, right? And so the prompts in there are they're pretty uniform. I go into a very big, deep process for all Scorpio moons. Because as a Scorpio moon, I think that we have been ignored. And a lot of the times when you are looking at astrological books written by different authors, you can see it. And they will have like pages on Taurus moons or any other moon. But the Capricorn moon and the Scorpio moon, we get a paragraph. I'm like, are you serious? That's all you're giving us? And man, this is back in the day, though. This was a while ago. Okay, this is when I was reading, and now I'm at websites. I still do have some astrology books around here, but now it's about taking notes of my life and also talking to people with the moons, especially if I'm close to them. You know, like I found out something about Virgo moons that blew my mind the other day, which is that Virgo moons, oh my goodness, ran by Mercury, their minds never stop. I thought my mind, but mine is feelings and minds. Because like I have a grand air trine and a grand water trine in my chart, right? But mine is feelings, like it's just different. And I've been living with it for so many years. I know how to balance it and move with it, right? Versus a person who doesn't know how to do that. And is trying to manage that energy all the time. In talking to this person, they have the moon moved me. They had my earlier iteration of it, but I mean, like the current one is just chef's kiss. I was able to talk to them about something else that I noticed about the moon. The moon moved me is a tracking process that's going to help bring out the best in you. Help you see a pattern. And you're going to recognize it. And once you recognize it, how to manage it. Like I said, one of the quickest ones that I noticed between me and my lovely partner. When the moon hits his rising sun and moon sign, it's like a landmine. Like a landmine. Yeah, yeah. And I've learned to just be like, you know, sometimes over time we've had these cataclysmic moments and I've been like, where the heck did they come from? Well, Enter the Moon moved me, right? I look and I go, oh, the moon was in your sign. Did we not make sure that we did this? And it's not in the moon's, just the moon sign. It is your moon sign, your sun sign, your rising sign, sometimes your Venus sign, sometimes your Mars, Mercury. You can look at it and just see where it's at. And a lot of people go, that's just too much. No, it's not. It's really not. It is just something to go in, you look, and you tweak. Again, the reason why I'm offering for $1, because this is a simple process. But I'm offering it because I want the information to get out there. This is part of my big Jupiterian Aquarian life, which is This is a system that's very simple for all humankind. Go and look and see where the moon is in Scorpio today. If you don't have to have a Scorpio moon to feel this. You could have other Scorpio placements. Uranus could be in there. Your sun could be in there. Your Mercury could be in there. We have now reached stellium status. Your Venus could be sitting in Scorpio. Everything could be sitting in Scorpio but your moon. And you're feeling the moon. You feeling it rock. And if it's in that 8th house, honey, please. And we know that energy is so big. Take this moment and track it. There are things that you can start to know, like you should look at your money. What you doing with money when the moon is rocking through the 8th house of your chart, or the 2nd house, or the 6th house, or the 10th house, or even the 11th, because you can get out with your friends and start spending your money like a crazy person. Astrology is bigger than just, oh, I'm an Aries, because I am an Aries. It's bigger than that. But I don't say that to say it's an elite process. I say that to say it's a process that all humanity can tap into. And since everybody can tap into it, I'm offering it here for everyone. If you have been recently kicked out of a religious organization, if you're looking for purpose in your life because you can't find it, you feel like you put in prayers to God all the time and you don't get no answers and you feel very alone in that process, astrology is part of that process. Looking heavily into yourself. And I know you go, oh, that's spiritual. And I know that this is not a hard sell for someone who wants to know who they are, who wants to understand who they are. Okay? You are looking into the astrology of who you are and it's your chart. Your chart is as finite and as individual as your fingerprint. And it's not, it is something that's just you. And as you begin, you'll understand that when you're looking at different asteroids that are in different places, what the lots do for you, all that kind of stuff. And what I'm saying is, go to the link in my bio for the astrology of specifically, not the astrology readings are 50% off today, but the Moon Moved Me is $1, and it's going to stay there because I want people to get the information. And I will continue to update it as I learn more. But I like it right now, and I'm offering it for $1 because everyone should be tracking their moon. Everyone should be tracking their moon. So when you are not clear on what to do, let's say that you have been recently kicked out of, or not kicked out of because you're not an ungrateful person or people don't like you, but maybe you're not getting along with, or you're not getting the attention from, say, a godparent in the Lukumi tradition or in the Voodoo tradition or in the Shay tradition, and you are just trying to find answers because you're trying to save yourself financially and fast. And you've done everything they've told you to, but it's not working. Now, a lot of people might look at that and go, oh, they're trying to sabotage me. I would not say that. I don't think that that's the case at all, because it doesn't benefit anyone for you to be sabotaged by a godparent. I say that dead out. I don't believe that happens. But I will say that sometimes it's just not a fit. And when you realize that and you are starting to walk alone and you're not certain if the Loas or the Orishas or the Abosums or the Voodoos are hearing you anymore, this is where astrology comes in to now allow you to kind of focus your attention somewhere else and allow that relationship to come back to its center, because you have put everything on a person outside of you. Now you getting ready to look deep inside yourself and say, hold up now. Well, why am I obsessing that way? I'm going to tell you, if you got 8th house placements, I don't care if you got Taurus or Aries. What's a happy sign? Libra or Pisces sitting in the 8th house, because Pisces, they have that other side of themselves, of them two fishes. That whole other fish coming in is a different situation. But you have a big eighth house placement sitting in there like that, you can be thinking some of the darkest things about yourself and people doing dark things to you, and it may not be happening, but that's your obsession because you got that Scorpio eighth house process. Boo boo. It's just different. It's different, different. I think it's even more different than the 12th house, and I gotta say that. The 12th house is definitely a dark place to go to, but I don't think it hits on as much as that energy that comes up out of that eighth house. That's why there have been so many people who have been able to do marketing based on the eighth house, because people want to be able to get the benefits that come from the processes in the eighth house. But let's be clear, if you have been a person that has walked away from a community, felt very alone while within the community, got kicked out of a religion. This can happen in churches. We all know it happens in kingdom halls. It can happen literally anywhere. There is something sitting there also in your eighth chart that may speak to it out your eighth chart. I'm sorry. Your astrology chart that may speak to it, which could be your Chiron. And then there are also other planets that sit in other places. Looking deeply into your chart, and the one I'm going to push for, the first luminary planet, the energy that is moving around us that we deal with all the time, is the moon. Because the moon moves every single day faster than any other planet. It is in a zodiac sign for 2.5 days, and then it's moving to the next place. That's how busy the moon is. I'm saying this to you to say, the moon moved me. It's going to be at the link here once this comes off and I can put everything together. I'm getting ready to get off soon, guys. I have some other stuff I got to go and get to. And it's going to, it's also at my page. But if you don't find it there, it's going to be under this live. I'm going to name it, I don't know, Jupiter Aquarium, something like that. We're going to do that. But my point is, having left the corporate world, specifically the higher education part of it, but prior to that I was in pharma, I can calmly tell you that you can find your way. But you have to put the time into learning yourself and appreciating yourself. And that appreciation is going to come through digging through your astrological basis. What's your foundation? Who are you? You cannot continue to put stuff on other human beings and hope that they bring something back to you that they don't even have to give you. And you're not going to know if they have it, because most people, a lot of people crack me up. Oh, girl, if he has I don't know, some Mars in Cancer, don't date him. And I was just like, that's not true. You have to understand what that means, right? First off, you're not getting the information of a lot of people outside of you who are just getting to know you. They're not going to tell you their information like that. That's number one. But number two, you need to be digging into you. What are you bringing to the world, and what's coming back to you because you give it to the world? I'm giving the world, I love this. I can't wait till I update it because I have an idea about the actual pages that I want to do. But I'm telling you, please open yourself up to the idea that tracking the moon throughout your day and writing, because the astrology of the moon moved me is unlocked through the prompts, and then doing this over, I would say, a month to a month and a half time. But you'll start to see it move faster than that. Once you do that, you'll see a form of spirituality coming out to you that no one else is really, they're not going to offer you anywhere else. And I don't even think they see it when they're looking at astrology at all. A lot of people don't see it, but our rituals, our humanness, and our habits, rituals, habits are there for us to look at, and we can start to really see them. Okay? So I will be back at another time. I'm going to put the link on the live once this goes completely up. Again, the Moon Moved Me is $1. Go to the link and get it. Go get it. It's worth it for you. Because, I mean, like, take for instance, some things we can't stop. Like, a lot of people go, well, will this have helped with my health? It can. Because that sixth house speaks to that. And you have stuff sitting there in that sixth house that you should be doing for yourself. It can help. The eighth house is also the place where our ancestors and everybody live. They live there. The 12th. They live actually all over the chart as far as I'm concerned. But for real, they're going to be talking to you right there in the eighth house. Right? I'm not going to call this, though, the eighth house moved me. Because I don't even have an eighth house moon myself. I'm very grateful for that. But I do have a Scorpio. So I'm just here to say to you over and over again, dig fully into yourself so that you can bring to the world what it is that you're looking for. There's something sitting there that you actually want to do. I mean, shoot, I like to answer impromptu questions about astrology. I really do. People have questions. So that's where the astrology reading comes in that I'm offering right now at 50% off. Okay, the link is going to be there. The Moon Movement is there, and the astrology reading is there. Once people fill out whatever it is that they want, I'm sending. And I thought, I'm going to offer. I don't know. I might actually just change the price.